Hi, I'm Jill Goldsmith, Chatham Town Manager, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 Annual Town Meeting Preview Show. We will review each article in detail and note recommendations from town boards and committees to help you make informed decisions at the annual town meeting on Saturday, June 12th. We've changed the format of this show to review articles thematically versus the order in which they appear on the warrant. However, you will receive a warrant booklet by mail and also available on the town's website, as that is the official agenda and ordering of the articles. Because we remain under COVID protocols, town meeting will be held again outdoors at Veterans Field beginning at 12 noon on Saturday, June 12th, and our town election at the Community Center has also been deferred to Thursday, June 17th. Today's segment will focus on community housing, specifically Articles 17 through 22 and Articles 33 through 36. To start us off will be Community Development Director Katie Donovan and Principal Planner Ali Sabatino. Here's Katie to get us started.
Thanks, Jill. The Select Board has identified a community goal to address the lack of affordable and attainable housing in Chatham, which significantly affects the health, economy, and retention of generational and young families in town. Chatham's 2018 Housing Production Plan identifies the needs and provides strategies to help meet that goal. The Housing Production Plan emphasizes the decline in population in Chatham, especially in the 18 to 44-year-old demographic. The Chatham 365 Task Force was created by the Select Board to identify the problem and help the town shift its policies and planning to help preserve the character and heart of the town. Many of the recommendations of the Chatham 365 Task Force align with the goals of the Housing Production Plan and identify ways to attract and retain more year-round residents to create a more vibrant, thriving year-round community. The creation of both affordable and attainable homeownership and rental options will move those goals forward. While a major goal of the Housing Production Plan is to eventually meet the state's 10% affordability threshold under Chapter 40B, another important goal is to serve the full range of local housing needs. Consequently, there are instances where housing initiatives might be promoted to meet community needs that will not necessarily result in the inclusion of units on the subsidized housing inventory. The plan also states that though the community has a very high level of home ownership, there would be a public benefit for the town to promote opportunities for newer and younger households to purchase a home, obtain a good job, and establish roots in Chatham. A wider range of affordable housing options is needed for these younger households entering the job market and forming their own families, as well as municipal employees, other employees in the town, and seniors looking to downsize. However, community preservation funds and affordable housing trust funds can only be used to fund projects up to 100% area median income. And Chatham is also in need of housing options for citizens that qualify for housing up to 200% of the area median income. For fiscal year 2020, the 100% area median income in Barnstable County for a family of four is $96,600. And the 200% area median income for a family of four is $193,200. The average sale price of a single-family home in Chatham in February of 2021 was over $1.7 million, putting home ownership well out of reach for many. Town staff has worked with the Select Board and the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board of Trustees on initiatives that will help to create more affordable and attainable housing options. And Town of Chatham staff and volunteer housing advocates also meet regularly with their colleagues on Cape Cod, especially those on the Lower Cape, to discuss ideas and strategies that increase housing opportunities. The following articles are the culmination of some of those efforts. Article 17, acquire and dispose of property at 2337 Main Street and 0 Jordan's Trail for affordable and attainable housing, will not be moved at town meeting as the property owner has withdrawn their offer to sell the property to the town. Article 18 is to acquire and dispose of property at 0/1533 Main Street for affordable and attainable housing purposes. This article is a placeholder article as negotiations are still ongoing at this time. As previously noted, the Select Board has identified a community goal to address the lack of affordable and attainable housing in Chatham, which significantly affects the health, economy, and retention of generational and young families in town. The identification and development of private parcels that are suitable for housing development is a key strategy in the 2018 Chatham Housing Production Plan. The town solicited acquisition proposals from private property owners to fulfill this need. This parcel in total contains approximately 3 acres, as shown on the map on your screen. To purchase this property for affordable and/or attainable housing, a mix of funds from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and free cash are needed, as the Affordable Housing Trust Fund can only fund projects for affordable housing purposes only. A feasibility study will be completed on this parcel to determine the best type of housing. The property is zoned R20 and has sewer available. Public input will be sought and encouraged before the town prepares and issues a request for proposal for a developer to create affordable and/or attainable housing on this parcel. As this is a placeholder article, there have been no recommendations made from the Select Board or the Finance Committee. However, the vote required at town meeting is a 2/3 majority. And now to talk about Article 19 is Ali Sabatino, our principal planner.
Article 19, declare a surplus, designate and dispose of the town-owned Middle Road property for affordable and attainable housing. The 2018 Housing Production Plan highlights this town-owned property to the north of Middle Road as suitable for housing development for both affordable and attainable housing. This location might be familiar to some of you, as it's been discussed as a potential area to locate housing since around 2007. This property contains approximately 19 acres of land and includes some unbuildable land such as wetlands and some steep topography. Due to the nature of this unbuildable area, the map on my screen shows some possible locations for development of this parcel. This parcel is currently not connected to sewer, however, it could be in the future. Obviously, community input is very important to us to determine the best type of housing, location of housing, and the amount of housing on this property. If approved at town meeting, we'll hold a series of public input sessions to hear the wants and needs of the community and how to best go forward with this potential development. The Select Board recommendation was to approve this Article 500. The Finance Committee recommendation was to approve this Article 900. And there is a 2/3 majority vote required at town meeting. Article 20, Home Rule Petition to establish a new housing trust. Our current housing trust is allowed to fund projects up to 100% AMI, area median income, or $96,600 for a family of 4. However, due to the high cost of housing in town, there is a need to fund projects over 100% AMI. This article would allow this new trust to fund projects exceeding 100% AMI all the way up to 200% AMI, or $93,200 for a family of 4. If passed at town meeting, special legislation from the state is needed to effectuate this proposal. The Select Board recommended to approve this Article 500. And the Finance Committee recommended to approve this Article 900. And now back to Katie.
Thanks, Ali. Article 21 is a home rule petition to establish a real property transfer fee to fund affordable and attainable housing. The real property transfer fee would provide an additional revenue source for the creation of affordable and attainable housing in the town. Though we have a dedicated funding source for the creation of affordable housing, the town does not currently have a dedicated source of funding for much needed attainable housing. This fee would provide that funding. Affordable housing trust funds appropriated from Community Preservation Act funds can only be used for affordable housing projects up to 100% area median income. The additional funds to be generated by the proposed transfer fee would allow the Affordable Housing Trust and/or the proposed Chatham Housing Trust to fund attainable housing projects up to 200% AMI. As noted in the proposed special legislation, the real property transfer fee is equal to 0.5% of the purchase price paid upon the transfer of any real property interest for for consideration of $2 million or more. And the fee shall be paid and be the liability of the purchaser. Certain transfers would be exempt from this requirement, including intra-family transfers. This fee shall be of a 10-year duration from the date this legislation takes effect and may continue for additional 5-year periods upon a majority vote at town meeting. The fee may be decreased or increased. The qualifying threshold transfer amount may be revised, or the fee may be eliminated by a 2/3 vote of town meeting. Special legislation is needed for the town to effectuate this new fee. The Select Board's vote on this article was 4 in favor and 1 against. The Finance Committee's recommendation on this article was 6 in favor and 2 against. Article 22 is a home rule petition for the use of Community Preservation Act funds for affordable and attainable housing up to 200% area median income. The current Community Preservation Act statute only allows CPA funds to be used to fund projects for persons and families whose annual income is less than 100% AMI. An authorization of CPA funds used for efforts to create housing for persons and families within the 200% AMI income limit would help the town of Chatham create both types of housing opportunities to keep our generational, young, and working families in Chatham. Special legislation is needed for the town to effectuate this change. The Select Board voted to recommend this article 5 in favor, 0 against, with 0 abstentions, and the Finance Committee voted to recommend this article 9 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstentions. And now back to Ali Sabatino to discuss some of the CPA articles related to housing.
Article 33, Community Preservation Affordable Housing Coordinator. The town is requesting $30,000 to contract with an affordable housing coordinator. The housing coordinator supports services for housing-related programs and affordable housing initiatives, such as the most recent Emergency Rental Assistance Program created in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The housing coordinator works with the Chatham Housing Authority, Monomoy Community Services, and Housing Assistance Corporation to assure that residents are receiving the necessary assistance. The efforts of the coordinator have been instrumental in outreach and support to Chatham residents and in moving housing solutions forward in Chatham. The Community Preservation Committee recommended to approve this Article 900. The Select Board recommended to approve this Article 500, and the Finance Committee recommended to approve this Article 800. Article 34, Community Preservation Feasibility Study for Housing. The town is requesting a sum of $50,000 for the purpose of funding a feasibility study to develop housing on parcels that the town is hoping to acquire. The first step to create housing on a property is to conduct a feasibility study to determine if any potential development hurdles exist and the number of units that a property can support for housing. The Select Board has identified affordable and attainable housing as a top priority. The Community Preservation Committee recommended to approve this Article 900. The Select Board recommended to approve this Article 500, and the Finance Committee recommended to approve this Article 800. And now back to Katie.
Article 35 is a community preservation article for an appropriation to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, to see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer from the Community Preservation Undesignated Fund Balance $1 million in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, Section 5, for the purposes of funding the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The Affordable Housing Trust Fund was created by town meeting in 2006 and is administered by the Select Board and 2 appointed trustees. This request would add to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund balance, which allows the town to respond to opportunities in the housing market in a time-sensitive and efficient manner, not having to wait for a future town meeting for approvals. The Affordable Housing Trust Fund, at the time of this writing, is currently in the process of reviewing privately owned parcels to consider for purchase to begin the process to create much-needed community housing. This past year, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund funded an emergency rental assistance program in the amount of $150,000 to assist families that have been financially impacted by the pandemic. The balance in the Affordable Housing Trust Fund as of March 31st, 2021 is $1,708,275. The Community Preservation Committee voted to recommend this article 900. The Select Board voted to recommend this article 500, and the Finance Committee voted to recommend this article 800. Article 36 is a community preservation article for Habitat for Humanity. To see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer from the Community Preservation Housing Reserves in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, Section 5, the sum of $90,000 for the purpose of funding a Habitat for Humanity housing project at 11 George Ryder Road South. Funds approved under this article will assist in the creation of 2 affordable home ownership units on the property located at 11 George Ryder Road South. Habitat for Humanity has been selected as the builder of 2 homes, a 2-bedroom ranch and a 3-bedroom cape. The cost of this project is estimated at $622,201, which includes the appropriation from the Community Preservation Funds. The Community Preservation Committee voted to recommend this article 900. The Select Board voted to recommend this article 500, and the Finance Committee voted to recommend this article 800. And now back to our Town Manager, Jill Goldsmith.
Thank you for watching this segment of our 2021 Annual Town Meeting Preview Show. We look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday, June 12th, starting at noon at Veterans Field. And also, don't forget to vote on Thursday, June 17th. See you soon.